May the 15th to be precise, and we have had some fantastic hot weather, although really it's been a bit too hot for me and I get to be a bit of a grump when it's too hot, but never mind. But after all the wet weather that we've had, it means that the whole garden has really kick-started now, and it's just sprung into growth, if you can spring into growth. So, sorry, can you see my foxglove? Very proud. Planted that last year. It's taken a year, got a few more to come up as well. So what we're going to do today, I am going to plant some celery. I am going to, oh, you know what, I'm just going to show you some stuff. I'm going to show you how things are getting on. Quite a big difference from last time. Like I say, things have really accelerated in the last fortnight. So yeah, we'll just have a little look round and a chat. What's the best thing that someone can do for you when your greenhouse has become so full you can't move? I'll tell you what it is. They say, we're going away for a couple of months. Use our greenhouse. So that's what I've done. I felt a bit guilty at first, felt a bit like I was jumping in the grave, but believe you me, this is coming incredibly useful. So I've got all my tomatoes over here. It gets hotter than ours as well because it hasn't got a great big tree shading it. Oi, my voice has changed. And you know, it's only when I started to bring the tomatoes over that I realised just quite how many I've got. These aren't all tomatoes. I've got a fair bunch of chilies at the end here and sweet peppers. I've got, oh, I did buy this, a mini cucumber, because I'd bought a packet of seeds and I was very cross about it because I only got 6 seeds for these little tiny little lunchbox cucumbers, which I fancied doing, and I think 3 of them came, and then the slugs had 2, and then the last one died. So I have treated myself to a mini cucumber, which is, it's quite happy already, look. Oh, these things need a water. That just goes to show how hot it's been. They were given such a good watering yesterday. Haven't been watered yet today. But yeah, look at that. We've certainly made use of the space. So we're not going to put anything long term in here, obviously. I'm not going to have my tomatoes cropping into August and September in here. But certainly our salad stuffs. We'll have spring onions, cut and come again salads, chilies, things that we can move back out when they move back in. We're going to have in here. So how fantastic is that? We've managed to double our greenhouse space for a couple of months. I don't know if you'll remember this, but when I was given my funky veg kit, I was also given a bonsai kit. I was given these teeny tiny seeds of huge trees that were going to bonsai plants. I don't quite know where the logic is really, but there we go. Oh, hold on. So I put the teeny tiny seeds in, and it didn't really hold out much hope. There's their mountain pine seeds, but if you look, there's my finger. That's how small they are. Actually got little tiny seed hats on. Look at that. You can zoom in so you can see them. So out of 2 seeds planted, 2 have come up. And who knows what journey they're going to go on. Sweet things, eh? So yeah, it's a bit of a left field thing for the greenhouse. A couple of mountain pine seedlings. Let's see how they go on. This has bothered me recently. My onions that I planted in November, they're my red onions, if you remember from Wilkinson's, that's all we know, they're red. They were doing absolutely beautifully, and then we noticed that 1 or 2 were getting quite, I don't know, looking a bit sickly around the stem. I put a photo online to see if anyone knew what it was, and the consensus of opinion was it was some sort of onion moth. So we dug the worst affected up, and fortunately we did have some spare onions, which sounds a bit mad, but I'm just going to dig one up and we'll have a little look and see if there's any evidence of this little critter, because I don't want him to get my onions. I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, I've dug up this little fella here. The stem actually just snapped off. There was nothing to hold it on at all. You can see, can you see? Yeah, you can see. That is really weak, look. Anyway, apparently if it's this onion moth that's done the damage, the onion moth gets in, as far as I know, lays its eggs in the soil around the onion, and the little grubs hatch, and it all sounds very nasty, doesn't it? They hatch and work their way up inside the onion and feed off the onion. But I've got to say, I can't see any evidence there of any little grubs at all. So I don't know what's happened with that. Has it just rotted? Is it just a rotten onion? It doesn't smell too good. It's not the worst, but you can see there, look. Ah. Oh, that is horrible. Is that a bug? Okay, that's a bug, isn't it? Let me get my little picnic knife out. I think I found a bug. It could also be a bit of soil. Ah! What's that? Is that soil or is that a bug? That to me, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think they'd be that far in, to be honest, but I suppose if they go up inside the onion. I don't know, what do you think? Have I got bugs? Have my onions got bugs? Oh, I've just completely decimated the onion now.
Yes.
I would say that to me is the work of a nasty pasty. Okay. I don't know. Anyway, let me know if you've had a problem with onion moth or onion moth bugs or bugs. What do you do? Because I don't want my onions to go to waste. I'm really looking forward to my onions. I've netted the whole area, so hopefully any moths will decide to go elsewhere. But yeah, look at that. That's not a pretty sight, is it? Just a quick look at one of the things that we got from the Malvern show. We got these rods here. What would you call them? Well, they're rods. Cloth rods? Whatever they are. Anyway, you could get them in all different lengths and sizes and even different colours. But we got these. I wish we'd got more, you know. These must be 6 foot long. I think they were 6 foot long. They're made of fiberglass. They're incredibly resilient. They keep the net nice and taut. They're sort of slightly springy. And yeah, they were £2 each. Now, okay, we've got 6 there, so yeah, £12, but that is really good, and they're going to last forever. I can't remember the man who sold them to us, but I know that Muddy Boots has an interview with them on, Nigel has an interview with them on his channel over at Muddy Boots. So yeah, go and take a look, because I know he sells online, but well worth getting a few. Really easy to use, dead simple. I don't know if you remember, I had a bit of an issue with my another issue with my labelling with my sunflowers, and I know that 2 of these, the 2 at the front, are red sun, but the ones in the green trough there, I'm not sure if they're Russian giant or red sun, and the only way I'm going to know is to plant them, wait for the flowers to come out and see if they're either red or yellow, really. So I've got this little space here, well, quite a big space behind the fruit cage. I'm going to clear this out and have them do their stuff down here. Wouldn't you know, finally this fruit cage is finished. Come and have a look. Oh, not only is it finished, it's almost got a path. It's one of those things, we were at someone's house the other day, we'd taken them some plants, they gave us some plants, and they had a whole load of wood outside ready to go to the tip. No longer. It's our path. So yeah, and then the other side of the path, you'll notice these strange little yellow things all over our soil. I wonder if you know what they are. I'll show you closer up. Oh, sounds lovely now. Nice and crispy. They weren't like that when we put them on. Another clue? It smelt like, the whole plot smelt of a busy pub's carpet on a Saturday night after closing. I That's the only finger I could put on it really. Yeah, the hops. We've got a local brewery, and basically they just chuck them out. So let me know if you've used them as a mulch before. I mean, literally, they're just, you know, we're not expecting them to add anything to the soil. I'm hoping they're not going to take anything away from the soil, but they're just quite a nice mulch as a weed suppressant. So I'm saying as a weed suppressant, keeping the water in, all that lot. And the plants don't seem to mind. Someone had said if your hops are really fresh, be careful putting them around new stems because it can burn. But actually, this little sucker, I like saying that, looks okay. It's really, really healthy. Yeah, so let me know if you've used hops.
Too hot now. I'm not complaining though. I'm not complaining. Well, I am complaining a little bit because I'm a bit of a heat wuss. But anyway, it's lovely. And I know, I was just going to say, I know that I'm always going on about how generous gardeners are, other gardeners, like-minded people are with their advice and their knowledge and everything. One of the lovely things I've always found is if you meet someone else who's gardening at the same time and you've got too much of something, you do a swap, they give you something they've maybe grown too much of, or they're really excited for you to try because they've loved it, and vice versa, and that's all really good. So the other day, a friend of mine has just had a bit of a garden makeover, and I was looking at things that I could split and take over for her, and I gave her some sorrel. Now, some people you'd give a bunch of sorrel to and they'd go, oh, thank you very much, and it'd be straight in the bin. But this lovely person was very excited, and she straight away said, well, you must have these, and she handed me some celery. Now, celery, I've never ever grown it before. To be honest, it wouldn't have been high on my list of things to grow, but as it is, I've got two lovely little celery plants here, and I'm going to give them a go. So I've been online and I've had a little look at what most people do, and I'm going to attempt to grow some celery in these flower buckets from Morrison's. Okay, everyone talks about these buckets. I think it depends on the generosity of your nearby supermarket. Some people manage to pick them all up for free. We paid £1 for 10, which I think is okay. Just need to make sure you get your drainage holes put in the bottom, and you're ready to go. So apparently celery, like their natural habitat is on a riverbank, so quite wet, not too boggy. No, quite boggy but not too wet. That's it, and make sure I get that the right way around. So first of all, the thing I'm going to do is, as always with a pot, I'm going to make sure I've got some very posh gravel here. It's left from going around the pond. I'm going to put some gravel in the bottom, so even though it likes boggy conditions, it's still good to make sure that it's got some drainage at the bottom. You don't want to be sitting with wet feet. Nobody likes sitting with wet feet. I don't. Okay, so there we go. One for you. A good little bit of gravel for you. Okay. That's nice. I feel like I'm collecting for charity. Next thing I'm going to do, again, just to retain a little bit of the moisture, is put in some of our incredibly finely rotted, well rotted manure that we had last year. Last year it was really sticky and not well rotted. This year it's full of worms and good things. So I'm going to put that in. I'm not going to use my hands for this, even though it's well rotted. I'm just going to tip, actually, some into that one, some into that one. Oh, I didn't even have to use the scoop. There we are. Now, some of you will say manure is better at the top as a mulch because any nutrients go down, and I sort of agree with you. But in this case, I want to make sure that even though it's got, sorry, I just see my parents coming, I'm going to have to hurry up. Even though they've got the drainage in there, they need to keep the moisture in. Okay, so I've got my manure in. Next thing, let's carry on regardless. Compost. This compost is from B&Q. Hello, yes, I know you're there. I'm planting my celery. Come in. Okay. You see they're putting me off now. They're laughing at me from over there. Your parents. Might meet them in a minute, or they might go camera shy. Mike might like to show them around the fruit cage while I get finished. Okay. They haven't seen the allotment for a good few months actually, so there's been a good few changes. Right, okay. Doing this in a very ad hoc manner, and I'm actually putting just as much compost on myself as I am in the pots. You know what? Here's a better idea, Jane. Okay. So, fill these up. Much quicker way to do this, I'm sure. I think that is going to be okay because I've only got 2 plants. I think the other thing I read was celery likes to be planted in a grid so that it can blanch itself. Well, obviously in this case I haven't got enough. I've only got 2, so they're only having 1 pot each. So I'm hoping that someone out there is going to be able to tell me how to blanch my celery. Okay, I've got these little plants, right? That is now my pot. Can you see that? With my layer of gravel, manure, compost. I'm putting my celery in, planting it up as normal, and then I want to know what I can do to that celery to blanch the stems. Do I have to put some sort of cone round it? Do I use a plastic bottle? Do I just tie the stalks together as they grow? I don't know. See those? Let me know. Last tip that I found out about planting them is they're really keen on nitrogen. So, coffee grounds available from, you know, if you're lucky you've got a coffee shop nearby. They're not very good on paying their taxes, but they're very good at giving you free coffee grounds. I'm just literally going to sprinkle that on the surface. You can't see what I'm doing, can you? But you can imagine coffee grounds going on a surface here. They do actually smell quite nice. Goes quite well with the smell of the hops over there. You really do feel like you're in a bit of a bar after closing time. Right, okay. So that's the last of my layers of my celery. All I've got to do now, most important job, water them in. You've got to make sure with these they do not dry out. I'm talking as if I'm an expert on them. Apparently, you need to make sure they don't dry out. You don't want them over wet, so I won't stand them in water. But you've really got to keep on top of the watering. Okay. Very last thing to do. I'm not sure of what this celery is, what make it is, what variety it is. So the last thing I'm going to do is stick a couple of labels on in a bit of a dedication to the people who gave me the plants. And in that way, I'll be able to tell them how they're doing and see which one does best. Well, they're both the same conditions. So I'm going to label them after the people who gave them to me. So this one's called John, and this one's called Liz. Put them in the greenhouse. I'm going to see how Liz and John get on.
Red Duke of York coming up. Planted on the 30th of March there. And really, we're ready to start earthing them up. You know, one of the highlights of this pond this year is these geum. Go and grow them at home. And obviously just a slightly different soil, slightly different position. They do get full sun here, they get baked. And they obviously love it, but look at them. This was from a tiny plug plant last year. Had a couple of flowers last year and then died down as all perennials do. And to be honest, I didn't know if they'd come back at all, but I'm actually lying on the floor here to get this. But oh, you can see, not just that one, but this one. And the colour is just, it's vibrant. I was going to say it's stagnant. It's vibrant. And all you need to do is just, if you want to prolong the flowering, I mean, I think it's going to flower all summer, is just take the dead heads off, as with anything else. Okay, and to be honest, I'm not going to be that precious about deadheading all the time. It's obviously very, very happy where it is. But the rest of the pond is really, it has its first flush now. And, well, I said the June are the stars of the show, but actually these tulips have been beautiful. And you can see now, they're starting to go over. Well, they have gone over. There's a few left at the back here. I could remember the names. I have got the names in the shed, but if you just look at these ones, they're like, oh, schmagolic. They're double. They're like peonies. Absolutely beautiful. And these are them fading, you know, and they still look glorious. But yeah, very soon, either today or tomorrow, I'm going to be taking all the pots away from the pond and storing them for next year. Hold on, sorry about this. Let me walk back around so you can see. Storing them for next year, and before I do, I'm going to make sure that I put labels on the pots so I know what's in them, because I'm terrible for forgetting. I've got terrible memory, and I'm also terrible for not remembering to put labels on things. So it's a double whammy. So yeah, so I'll put a little label in each pot so I know what it is and what colour it is. Put it behind the shed and bring it out again next spring, because yeah, they've been glorious. And then once I've cleared all them, I can start getting in my flowers for my cutting flowers. Everybody seems to call them cutting flowers, they're just flowers. For the rest of the summer. So yeah, next time you see this, it'll probably look drastically different. And a bit sad, but it's been lovely. There's such a lot to get done. There's such a lot to get done. Here I am, back in my little throne. It's such a great time of year. I mean, even a month ago, everything was really busy, but it all tended to be sowing seeds, preparing the ground, potting on. And now, all of a sudden, all the things that need doing have gone like this. So you're still sowing seeds, you're still potting on, you're still preparing the soil, but then you're also dealing with diseases and pests like wretched onion moth. Please let me know what you do if you've had onion moth. Do we get rid of the lot? Do we keep it and fingers crossed? I don't know. Moving things around, reconfiguring the greenhouse. There's so many things to do. Hanging baskets, that's something I've got to get done. But yeah, it's the most exciting time of the year because it's just so full of promise. It really is so full of promise. So many things to come. I've been doing these videos for over a year now, and what I noticed looking back or thinking back to the first ones, the excitement in the first year was all about, wow, we can grow things. What are we going to grow? Let's see what we can grow. And that, you sort of think it's going to be the same the second year, but the second year, you've moved on a bit, you've learned that much more. And for me now, one of my prime things is protecting what we've got, although again, I haven't done much of a good job with my onions. But I've seen that we can grow things now, we can, but we've got to make it better. We've got to protect them. We've got to nurture them that much more. So I think this second year is going to be a bit of a learning curve with regard to, pest and disease resolutions. Is that the right word? Solutions, that'd be good. Okay, so yeah, very excited. Another thing I've done since I was last here, since I last spoke to you, last Saturday I visited the Malvern show in Malvern. In Malvern, the RHS show, which was fantastic. I know quite a few people have put videos up. I did take my camcorder, but to be honest, it was all a bit overwhelming. There was so much to see. Someone said it's as big as 40 full-size football pitches. That's quite a tongue twister. And yeah, there was. I didn't see the half of it. I saw the bits I wanted to see. I must admit, I would like to have seen more veg, fruit and veg, but considering it was a flower show, I suppose, that was what there was to expect. But yeah, really good, really fantastic day out, and made even better by bumping into the lovely Julie over at Julie Drake. If you haven't been over to her channel,
just take a look at Julie. She can do anything. She looks after hens, she does her allotment, she paints, she brews wine, she cooks, she does the lot. Okay, so go and say hi to Julie. And she was with Nigel, a partner in crime who does all fantastic videos with her, and his lovely wife Alison. And it was just so nice to meet someone in person, because much as you get to know someone over social media, etc., it's just nice to see someone in the flesh. So hopefully we'll get a chance to meet up again over the summer, and I will take my camcorder next time and have a few words. That was really nice. The other thing, I don't think we bought very much. Oh, we bought some, we did buy the cloche rods, which I showed you. We were really pleased with those. And I also, one of the stores I always look out for is Pennard Plants, because I'm a sucker for nice packaging. I'm exactly who advertising people aim at when they're trying to get people to part with the money, because they have these lovely brown envelope seed packets. And not just that, they have lovely illustrations on the front. So I've gone and bought these, never know how to say it, edamame beans, whatever they are, they're soybeans. Very nice. You get them in trendy salads at the minute and everything. Might be a bit too late to put them in, but I am going to give it a go. And Mike fancied some of this 1,000-headed, I think it's like a kale, brassica type thing. So he's going to give that a go. Just sort of unusual things, really, slightly unusual. We got a few of the packets. I think it was £5 for £1. So again, reasonable prices. So yeah, that was good. That was good. And all in all, it was a grand day out. Very hot though. It was very hot. Got too hot. So that's it. I've got loads to do. Hanging basket, loads. Hanging basket pond. Putting things out. Greenhouse. So much to do. So I think probably it won't be 2 weeks till the next video. I'll probably have another one up next week. If the weather stays kind, it is getting a bit cooler now. I don't think we're due any more frosts, but it doesn't mean that night temperature doesn't dip. That's a double negative. Okay, the night temperature might still dip, but I think we're pretty much seeing the end of the frost season now. So yeah, it's all systems go. Anyway, I'm rambling again, so I am going to wrap this up and say I hope you're enjoying your garden, or whatever you've got, or your plant pot, or maybe just a little succulent. I hope you're enjoying that. Have a lovely week wherever you are, and I'll catch up with you again soon. Okay, thank you. Ow.